What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, the man welding, and today we're gonna do my favorite thing in the whole world, weld aluminum. So the machine I'm using today is the Everlast Power Tig 315 LX. I got it set max amperage, 315 amps, and I'm using the foot pedal. All right, when I'm welding aluminum, I don't always use the foot pedal, but typically that's what I like to do. I like a little bit of stick out when I'm running aluminum, all right? Nothing crazy, but a little bit of stick out. This is a number 7 cup. Typically a number 7 cup is about as big as I'll ever run when I'm welding aluminum. And the reason for that is when you're welding aluminum, that alternating current, it causes the arc to go wherever the argon shielding gas goes. So if you're using a big cup, say a number 10, a number 12 cup, and you have a big area of gas coverage, your arc is gonna be constantly wandering and it's gonna be kind of erratic and sporadic. And so that's why typically when you see guys welding aluminum, they're either gonna be using a number 5, a number 6, or a number 7 cup. I run a standard collet body setup. I've tried gas lens setup. I find they get gunked up and they don't weld as good. So when it comes to welding aluminum, I like to keep it pretty simple. These are like 1/4 inch thick pieces. I got them from my buddy's shop. When you're welding aluminum, you wanna come in hot and then progressively back off the amperage, as opposed to starting very cold and progressively increasing the amperage, all right? Because aluminum, you gotta add filler rod, right? But what a lot of guys do before they develop that skill is they hold their rod way back here, and then they dab all the way in, and then they throw their hand back, do it all the way in, all right? That's not the worst thing in the world. You gotta get that rod in there somehow, and until you develop that filler metal hand, you gotta do what you gotta do, all right? But you'll see how I do it is I just keep that rod in between my fingers and I kind of push with my thumb and I scoot it forward in between those 2 fingers. Pushing with that thumb, boom, 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 boom. All right, so it's a skill. It usually is one of the last skills, one of the last basic skills that people develop is being efficient at feeding rod. Let's go ahead and light up and do some welding. All right, so let's take a look at that weld. Started off hot, and you can see we got a nice, consistent bead width all the way through. Good penetration, you know, no cold lap, no lack of fusion, nothing like that. All right, I'm a little rusty, but it's all good. I see a lot of guys who come to my class do this, is they start welding, or they go to weld, and they're like this. Do you guys see what the problem is here? The problem is this arm that you're holding the torch with, it's just floating around in space, all right? So it's gonna make it very hard to be comfortable and consistent. So whenever I see them doing that, I'm like, and a lot of times they'll like hold, even worse than this, they'll do this. They're like this, or they're like something weird, all right? So you guys, when we're talking about just welding aluminum flat, just padding beads, learning how to do it, I'm left-handed, all right? I hold the torch with my left hand. Thumb and index finger. You take your torch, grab it like that, all right? And then you're gonna wanna rest your arm on something solid. So that way you can comfortably maintain a consistent arc length and consistently make forward progress without getting snagged or hung up on anything, and just boom, 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 all right? This is horrible. I never want to see anyone doing that. If you're welding like that, you need to stop, all right? Fingers like this, Boom. Get that arm planted firmly. And okay, now you're ready to rock and roll.
Gumbo.
So let me tell you guys why it is that I gravitated towards welding aluminum in my welding career. When I started welding, I was actually blind in my left eye. Now, a couple of years ago, I got cataract surgery and replaced the lens, and it improved my eyesight pretty substantially. I still don't have great eyesight, but when I say I was blind in my left eye, like I was absolutely blind in my left eye. Aluminum is really bright. It has a super bright arc, and it kind of really lights up the area around where you're welding. And that's, you know, it helped me a lot, because when I welded steel and when I was welding pipe and when I was stick welding and when I was doing all these things, I really had a lot of trouble seeing what I was doing. And like when I was in welding school and I was welding pipe, my welds were always like super curvy, or they would like dive off really hard to one side or the other, because I was just having a really hard time seeing. And the first time I welded aluminum, I was like, holy shit, I can actually see what I'm doing. So I really liked it. And then not only did it allow me to see what I was doing and allow me to be a better welder, but it's just fun. I love it. It's fast paced, it's loud, it's kind of chaotic, and you know, it's just fun. And there's a lot of cool industries that you can work in if you are an aluminum TIG welder, all right? So welding schools don't traditionally teach aluminum TIG welding, right? I got the chance to do it one time when I was in welding school up in Tallahassee, and I was like, damn, this is super cool, but I never really got to like develop my skill set when I was in welding school. So when I got my first job, it was at a shop called Metal Fabrication and Sales of Tallahassee. And it was a really great first job. I've talked about it before, because we did all sorts of work, and there was a guy there, his name is Joe Mason, and he was a super talented aluminum TIG welder, right? And that's basically all he did at that shop, was just all the aluminum work. And, you know, I would watch him and I would try to learn from him. And not only that, but I would, instead of going out in my car and smoking weed on my lunch break, I would stay in the shop and practice with the material that was laying around, and, you know, a Miller Dynasty 200 that was at my disposal. And, you know, so I spent a lot of lunch breaks just out there welding on scrap metal, getting better and better and better, until finally I was decent enough, and the owners and the managers saw that I was putting in the effort, and they would start throwing me aluminum jobs, you know, not the really big jobs or the ones that had to look good or the ones that required a lot of skill, but, you know, when a little like piddly fuck job came through the shop, or something small that really, like a little repair, and it didn't have to look good or whatever, something cheap, you know, they started giving me those jobs. And that was my first exposure into professional aluminum TIG welding. And I was at that job for 2 years, and when I left, you know, I moved down to Fort Myers, and I got my first full-time aluminum TIG welding job at a company called Evolution Trailer Technologies. I was building these things called ladder boxes, and essentially they were just these big ladder boxes, you know, kind of like a staircase that would go on the front of a boat trailer. and I had to bend all the metal and TIG weld them all up, and I had to make them look good. So I got a ton of practice welding outside corner joints, welding like handrails, you know, welding around pipe, welding in confined spaces, and that's where my TIG welding skill set really kind of skyrocketed. And then from there, I just kept getting better and better and better, and working at different places that kept pushing my skills and challenging me and requiring me to grow and develop as a welder. So guys, all that being said, aluminum TIG welding, I really got like a soft spot for it. And that's why, you know, I brought in 2 of my own personal welding machines. You know, we got this Everlast 315 LX, and then I got my 255 EXT over here. And I brought both of these machines in. You know, these are machines that I paid for with my own money. The school I work for went ahead and purchased this awesome fixturing table. And, you know, I had the electricians wire up 2 plugs over here. And I'm gonna have this whole station is gonna be reserved for the guys in my class who really put in the effort and go above and beyond and really want to challenge themselves and learn more than just the basic stick welding on 3/8 mild steel. You know, I got a positioner from Arc Zone. I'm going to set that up on this table, and I'm really looking forward to the students coming back and getting a fresh chance, because I'll speak about it more in depth in a future video. But I learned so much this first semester as a welding instructor, and realistically I made a ton of mistakes and I did things wrong, and it was just you know, save that for another video. But I'm extremely excited for this second chance to try again and take what I learned the first time and improve upon it. All right, so let's run a few more beats. All right, guys, that's all I got for this video. I appreciate you watching. As always, stay safe. Love you guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.